Aristotle the sequel, a presentation held at Hack for Europe in Stockholm, 10th, 11th June 2011, in an arrangement by Europeana. It starts with this guy. It's Aristotle. He said a lot of smart things, but one thing that they said about him was that he was the last person to know everything there was to be known in his time. And rest in that idea for a while. It's an amazing thought. And if it was true, from there on it certainly has ceased to be true, right? There's too much information today and no one knows everything. But I see a couple of paths. I see development pushing us in the direction of Aristotle again. And I just want to bring two building blocks forward. There's a lot of them, but two of them is, and the first one is towards zero friction. And it is about our new best friend. Take a look at this.
Oj, vad har jag där? Vad är det för något? Det på knappen, ja. Oj! Tack, tack. Och vi klarar av den igen. Då får du vända den till rätta. Så.
You see, she handles the device without any hesitation and without any problem. Probably because no one has taught her that it's supposed to be difficult. And we see that, Iris, 11 months old, she can't even stand up straight yet, but she's not alone. In Sweden, 50% of every 4-year-old is already a fluent internet user. And this study has been done for a couple of years, and the year before it was 5, and in 2008 it was 7 years that when we hit that 50% bar. So it's moving downwards really fast. And you know, it's not even just the young ones. Internet users are, you know, slightly crazy. These images are taken within the first 24 hours of the release of the first iPhone, and it shows iPhone users licking their iPhone to show their love. So, you know, the old idea of us hating IT, hating computers, hating devices, it has just ceased to be true. And every time something new comes up, every day something new comes out that, you know, pushes the boundary again and makes us realize that there really is no friction anymore. We're not connected to these devices by wired yet, if we ever will be, but we're definitely connected to them in a manner that really doesn't pose any friction at all. And with that comes something else. With that comes the idea of what to connect to, what's on the other end of the screen. And I like to think of it as the one machine. And I borrowed that from Kevin Kelly, who held a great presentation. It's on TED.com. It's called Predicting the Next 5,000 Days of the Web. And in that presentation, he launches the idea of the one, or the one machine, depending on how technical you are. But this machine is something that we constantly, you know, we fill it up with stuff. So in 2007, Kevin Kelly said that the machine had approximately the capacity of one human brain. You know, in terms of storage, connectors, links on the internet is equal to synapses in the brain and so forth. And our brain won't evolve, it won't double every second year, but internet does. So the one in 2035, 2040 is going to have the capacity as approximately 6 billion human brains. And that's, you know, that's the whole mankind in one machine. And we see that happen every day. Every time we click on a like button, every time we post a comment, every time we put up a blog post, every time a newspaper publishes a new article, it fills up the one machine. Google has filled up the one machine with 10 million books already, and their idea is to fill up the one machine with 129 million books. Every book known to man should be in the machine. And Facebook does the same with people. I mean, we're 650, 800 million people on Facebook already, pushing 1 billion. And Mark Zuckerberg won't be content until he has every person online connected through Facebook. Now that's one hell of a machine. And what this the one means is actually, in fact, that we have access to all information, everything that's known is at our fingertips. So we're back to Aristotle. It's Aristotle 2.0, and it's every single one of us. This idea of, the one and the many windows turns us into Superman. So we can, and that's a good feeling, right? To be a superhero, to be able to access all that information. And it grows on us. So we don't just want to be, connected at our desks. We have these phones in our pockets now, and we have these devices instead of the old TV set on the wall in the living room. Of course, we have a window that's connected to the one. Every window is connected to the one. And with this come demand. With this idea of one machine and every window connected to that machine comes a great demand. I think we have to start thinking about if something really exists, if it's not in the one. I don't think so. I think as all these windows grow upon us and we continue to construct the one together, what's not in there really doesn't matter. It's non-existent. So that leads us up to the things to be done. And I'm going to talk now from, pretty much a state of this is already happening. So if we look at what's happening today with the development of open data, it's truly amazing. On so many borders and on so many areas, we're pushing the boundary of open data. And the cultural heritage is one of them, definitely. There is amazing things happening today. But I see, in my mind, that it goes even faster and further on other areas. And besides being, realizing that it's something that has to be done, more and more organizations realize that this is something that's fun. It's something that gives back to their organization and gives back to their purpose. Users start to contribute, users are happy to use their stuff, and even within the organization they feel that they are serving their purpose better than they did before. So it's a good thing, it's a positive spiral, and the engine has really started to roar. And to put it under a headline of not online, it's equal to total waste, we see a lot of things happening now. In the government arena with public information, we see a big push, and in Europe it's called the PSI directive. It's basically demanding that every piece of government data should be made available on equal terms. And in the corporate world, in the world where money matters, we try to use pull to evolve and develop new business models that makes it more business-wise sound to be open than to be closed. And if we can't pull them over fast enough, I'm sure Darwin will do the rest by killing the companies that, letting the companies go extinct that are not grasping the new way of doing things, the new idea of openness. And then it comes down to our common cultural heritage and how we deal with that. And yes, there is progress being made, but if it's too slow, if it's too little, I'm fairly sure that the users are going to take control. If the institutions doesn't provide the data, the users are going to take it anyway, because they want it and because they feel that it is their right. They feel that this information is actually mine. And the generations growing up today, they have a very weak understanding of the old idea of copyright. As they should, because information is abundant today. We can try and educate them, but they're never gonna get it. Because, hey, it's out there. And I'm not intending to do something bad with it. I just want to, build upon it, do something good with it. So we're fostering generations after generations of what the old school used to call pirates today. And the beauty of it is that this little girl is actually this old guy when it comes to information, knowledge, connections. So, to paraphrase the old idea about Aristotle, I think we should say that every man has the potential to know everything there is to know in our time. And for our common cultural heritage, it's absolutely necessary that every piece of information, every image, every object, every piece of data is out there. And I would like to urge every one of us, when it comes to our common cultural heritage, let's not accept anything less than everything. So come on, go out there and help us push. Thank you very much for listening and watching. See you out there.